democratic process in the Gambia. We thank all our partners for believing in us and our for the 23,110 young Gambians who registered to vote and the 149 youth contest you have given to Parliament is ultimate. The started gathering is not triumph. The strengthened Parliament is not just deep representative and constitutional in its youth mandate. You are the definitive voice of the Gambia's potential. Thus, our impact has moved beyond the walls of debate. We have established ourselves in vital policy advocates and influencers, championing inclusive governance and serving as a critical bridge between the young people and the policy makers. Yet we must speak frankly about the challenging times facing our generation. The youth of the Gambia are deeply concerned about the significant pressures on livelihoods, from persistent high youth unemployment to the desperate choice of irregular migration and the painful rise of substance abuse in our communities. The relationship between the police and the youth have gone sour. Actions against corruption have become weak, and we still have laws that do not speak the spirit and aspirations of what a state committed to legal and governance reforms really should look like. Therefore, we must address the dynamics between the state and its young people. We must constructively pursue a renewed social contract that strengthens our democracy, not one that pushes back on it. The National Youth Parliament calls for an elevated relationship between law enforcement and the youth, one rooted in mutual understanding, confidence, and respect. We must ensure that the constitutional right to free expression and peaceful assembly is upheld not just in law, but in practice. Our voices are not meant to be threats. They are the early warning system and the nation's conscience, offering us an opportunity for collaborative resolution. And now to the newly elected members of the 10th Youth Parliament. Congratulations on your election. The torch is about to be passed. Your mandate is clear. You are not just here to merely occupy seats. You are here to occupy responsibility. You must be proactive, resilient, and really ready to sacrifice your time, energy, and resources for the greater good of this noble institution and the generation you serve. Remember, the NYP was not brought to where it is today by mere fantasies. It was built by sacrifices, the willingness to lose everything to keep it alive, and the commitment to always put the institution first. Make your voices heard, but do it with discipline, integrity, calmness, tolerance, and respect for the rule of law. These are the ethos of what a parliamentarian truly looks like. The bar has been set so high, and expectations are even higher. The only thing to do is to do everything better. Your conviction must always be stronger than convenience. Do not settle for echo. Be the roar of responsible change. Let history record that in your time, when your challenges were great, you choose collaboration over complaint. Let it record that this age of dissolution, you choose determination. And let it remember that when others waited for tomorrow, you built it today. As we head in the right direction, it is important to note that the National Youth Parliament has also faced its share of constraints. Funding has been tight, support has been slow. This session almost failed to take place due to insufficient funds, despite months of intensive requests for funds and lobbying. We believe the NYP has passed that stage where such struggle will be endured and route to an important and outstanding national gathering of this kind. Therefore, to our cherished partners, the European Union, the UNDP, the UNFPA, Child Fund the Gambia, and all those who supported this process, we extend our deepest appreciations to you all. You are truly the best and champions of the youth voice. Your investments have transformed aspirations and ideas into impact. But today, I ask to look at the immense value of your return on investment. You have helped support a legitimate platform that reaches the heart of Gambian youth without a distortion of political partisanship. The challenges facing young people in the country are multi-million dollar problems. We must therefore cry our hearts out that the NYP, which is undoubtedly best positioned to drive sustainable nationwide solutions for young people, should not be constrained by limited short-term project-based funds. Our strength lies in our diversity, our non-partisanship, and our integrity, but more so, our deep connection with the young people of the Gambia from all walks of life. We understand their problems better and therefore better positioned to proffer solutions to them. That is why it is justifiable to come to us as the safest and most representative platform to reach the youth of this country. We are like a successful young plant that has proven its roots and deep, and its harvest is real. Now we are asking for the sustained water and sunlight. That is the institutional, multi-year funding to scale our impact tenfold. We call on all partners to come together and help establish a special fund aimed at supporting the National Youth Parliament and its activities. See the National Youth Parliament not just as a beneficiary, but as a strategic national asset and a reliable policy partner that can be your next door solution to the problems facing the youth of this country, and the number one platform to hear the voices of the youth of the Gambia, the challenges they have faced, and as well the solutions. Invest in us, not only in fragmented moments, but in national drive of youth-led democratic strengthening. Give the 10th Youth Parliament the sustained financial foundation it requires to move beyond debating and into delivering measurable, large-scale, nationwide change. To move mountains, we definitely need the financial fuel that matches the fire in our hearts as the young people of the Gambia. Finally, I am about to step down as Speaker with a simple, heartfelt declaration that the National Youth Parliament, the reformation has been done successfully, and the journey has been worth every single sacrifice, and I hope the new members and the leadership would scale it to higher heights. And I hope the Gambia government, the National Assembly, the development partners, the public, and other relevant stakeholders will not let them feel isolated, unsupported, or frustrated. Clerk, we may proceed.
Statement. Official welcome remark by the former Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament, Uganda.
Honorable members, at this juncture, pursuant to clause 29 of the standing orders of the National Youth Parliament, the Gambia, I'll allow the following personnel to deliver statements to this August Parliament. Honorable members, please be reminded that after the statements are delivered, no questions, comments, or concerns should be raised, and it will not be entertained. May I now call on the Honorable outgoing Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament to deliver the opening remarks.
Victories, learning, and mostly service. A journey that we did not walk alone, but with passionate young leaders and committed partners who believe in the power of youth engagement in governance and nation building. It has been a decade and a year since I first walked into the National Youth Parliament as the Deputy Clerk of the West Coast Region Youth Parliament. Proceed to Clerk for West Coast Region Youth Parliament, and then to the Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament. When we began this term, we did with so bold aspirations to raise the voice of youth in policymaking, to hold institutions accountable, and to champion the cause that matter most to our generation: education, employment, climate action, gender equality, peace and security, and good governance. In 2020, the National Youth Parliament elected 5 young people in the name of Honorable Omar Cham, Honorable Degen Job, Mrs. Ada M. Bojang, Mr. Omar Nyang, and Mr. Tijan Kuyate. On our tiny soldiers, we carry a dream bigger than us, a vision blurry, but a will steadfast, understanding what we want, but not clear how we're going to do it. But with a will steadfast that nothing shakes it over the years. And today we deliver to you the 10th Parliament, a well-reformed, a well-structured National Youth Parliament. Over the course of our tenure, I am proud to say that this Parliament have risen to the occasion. Together we have tabled over 10 motions, passed over 10 resolutions, and conducted extensive public consultation that bridge the gap between young citizens and policymakers. We took the Parliament beyond the chambers, into schools, into communities, and into the digital space. Through town halls, debates, and civic engagement campaigns, we have empowered thousands of young people to speak up and stand tall. Our committees produce reports that influence national youth policies. Our debates ignited national conversations. And our actions prove that young people are not just leaders of tomorrow, we are the leaders of today. None of this progress would have been possible without the foundation laid by those before us and those that stood with us. To the members of the previous Parliament, I say thank you. Your commitment, vision, and hard work built the platform upon which we stand today. It has been a good 5 years of leadership, of sacrifice, of impact, and most profoundly, delivering to the young people of the Gambia. You saw us what was possible, and we did our best to carry your torch forward with honor. I am forever proud to call you comrades. To the youth parliamentarians of the 10th Parliament, I offered my heartfelt congratulations. You have been entrusted with both the privilege and the responsibility of representing the youth of this nation. We were elected by 35 young people representing 120 parliamentarians across the country. And we dare to dream this big. Fast forward today, 23,000 young people registered on the NYP election portal. 10,000 young people on a day that wasn't public holiday left work, left school, left their farms, their football games to come and elect you. The bigger the legitimacy, the bigger the responsibility. The task ahead is big, but my advice is simple. Listen deeply. Hear the hopes, frustrations, and ideas of those you represent. Act boldly. Do not fear challenging the status quo when necessary for progress. Remain united. Though you may sit on different sides of the aisle, your purpose is the same: to serve the young people of this country. And above all, lead with integrity. Power may come and go, but your integrity is what you will be judged by. To our support system over the years, our long-standing partners, the National Assembly of the Gambia, the National Youth Council, the UNDP, and the UNFPA, thank you for holding by us over the years, for believing in us and our initiative. Our partnership has yielded dividend. To our latest partners, Child Fund the Gambia and the European Union in the Gambia. of whom we are serving as their youth advisory committee in the country, and every stakeholder that stood by us. We are deeply grateful. Thank you very much. Your resources, expertise, mentorship, and platform help turn our ideas into impact. You believe in youth leadership, not as a token of gesture, but as a meaningful contribution to national progress. We thank you for walking this path with us and urge you to continue standing by the 10th Parliament, for we are your partners in development. In closing, as I step down from this honorable position, I do with immense pride in what we have achieved and with unshakable hope in what is to come. To the youth of our nation, keep participating, keep questioning, keep building. The parliament is yours. The country is yours. The future is yours. May this parliament continue to become a beacon of hope for the young people of this country. Viva to young people. Viva to the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia. And viva to the Gambia. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable outgoing Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament. Clerk, we may proceed.
On behalf of the Clerk of the National Assembly, I extend our sincere commendation to the National Youth Parliament for successful conclusion of your recent elections, ushering in the 10th National Youth Parliament. The exemplary conduct and democratic spirit displayed throughout the process are truly inspiring and reflect positively on the future of our nation. Congratulations to you all. Your active participation in democratic process is a powerful testament to the vibrant youth leadership we are cultivating in the Gambia. The National Assembly recognizes the critical role your platform plays in serving young minds, fostering civic responsibility, and ensuring youth voices are heard on matters of national importance. The National Assembly is steadfastly committed to supporting and nurturing the National Youth Parliament. We view your work as integral to our collective efforts to strengthen democracy and ensure an inclusive future for all Gambians. And we are dedicated to providing the necessary guidance and mentorship to help you thrive. As you commence your sittings, we wish you the very best. May your deliberations be fruitful, your resolutions impactful, and your collective wisdom benefit our beloved country. We urge you to engage in robust debates, uphold the highest standards of parliamentary conduct, and always prioritize the welfare of your constituents, the Gambian youths. Your success is defined not by individual brilliance, but the collective actions or resolutions you undertake on behalf of your constituents. The Office of the Clerk maintains an open door policy, and we are ready to provide assistance, answer your questions, and collaborate on shared initiatives. Please reach out to us. Your success is inextricably linked to ours. I thank you all and wish you the best in your deliberations. Thank you.
I think I will be in the best position to authoritatively confirm what you have said, that the restructuring of the National Youth Parliament is indeed complete. As a council, I think we have been part and parcel of the process over the past 4 and 5 years. and I will really agree with you, that through your leadership, Honorable Speaker, the National Youth Parliament is back to what it was, to better represent young people of this country. Congratulations, Honorable Speaker, and wishing you well in your future endeavors as you step down from your role as Speaker. It is indeed with great pride and optimism that I stand before you today at this first ordinary session of the 10th Youth Parliament, an event that does not only symbolize continuity, but firmly reaffirms our collective belief in the power, voice, and agency of young people in shaping the destiny of this country. Today marks more than just a parliamentary sitting, but it also represents a renewed social contract between the youth and the nation. One accord in partnership, leadership, and accountability. Across the world, countries that have advanced in peace, democracy, and innovation have done so by placing the young people at the center of governance and national development. In the Gambia, where over 60% of the population is under the ages of 35, our greatest resource is not oil or minerals, but it is our youthful energy, creativity, and determination. But this potential will only translate into progress when the young people are continuously empowered to speak, decide, and act on issues that affect them. The Youth Parliament provides that platform where ideas meet action and where the voices of the young become instruments for policy change. As the National Youth Council, we are proud to see how far this institution has come. The legacy continues today with the 10th Youth Parliament representing a new generation of builders ready to tackle the pressing challenges of our time: unemployment, climate change, educational reform, peace building, and digital transformation. But let me be clear. Participation is not just having a seat at the table, but it's about having a voice that is informed, responsible, and visionary. Let me join the Honorable Speaker, and of course, all youth parliamentarians here, to extend our deepest appreciation to all the partners that supported this event today: the UNDP, UNFPA, the European Union, and Child Fund. We appreciate you walking the journey with young people of this country. The National Youth Council remains committed to ensuring that the Youth Parliament serves as a living laboratory for democracy, where young Gambians learn to engage constructively, debate respectfully, and act responsibly. To the honorable members of the 10th Youth Parliament, you are not here by accident. You are chosen because you represent the hopes and aspirations of thousands of young Gambians. Use this platform wisely. Speak for those who cannot. Challenge with respect and lead with dignity. Always remember, participation is the heartbeat of democracy, and your engagement defines the leadership of tomorrow. As we begin this new session, let us renew our commitment to a Gambia where no young person feels unheard or unseen. A nation where youth participation is not a slogan, but a way of life. The government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and by extension, the National Youth Council, will continue to create that enabling platform that allows for each and every young person to thrive. By the end of this year or early part of 2026, during probably the first ordinary session of the National Assembly, the Minister of Youth and Sports will be tabling the National Youth Bill, which should be replacing the current National Youth Act that we have, 2020. It is 25 years old. The dynamics have changed. And as young people of this country, we have all agreed that we need a new guiding document that represents our hopes and aspirations in 2025 and beyond. With the support of UNFPA, we are currently reviewing the National Youth Policy 2019-2028. It's a 10-year policy, and obviously, every policy needs to go through a midterm review. The process has been delayed, but we are happy to announce that by the end of this week, a consultant will be confirmed that will kickstart this process, and we are hopeful, as youth parliamentarians, will be part of those engagement processes to ensure we are able to have a new document or a revised youth policy 2019-2028. With the support of ActionAid, for the first time, we are developing an SOP for the operationalization of youth groups in this country. We have never had a guiding document in terms of how youth groups should operate in this country. The act has not been very clear. With the support of our partner ActionAid, we have instituted a technical working group which the National Youth Parliament is certainly represented, and other youth groups. And again, we are hopeful that by early November, the SOP should be ready, and this should be a guiding document for all youth groups in this country. This and many more other actions, through the support of the Gambia government, are creating that enabling environment for young people in this country to thrive, and this is certainly going to continue. At this juncture, I would want to wish all of you well as National Youth Parliamentarians. Wish you well during your tenure, and I want to assure you of the continuous cooperation of the National Youth Council. Yes, Honorable Speaker, the restructuring is over, but we want to assure you as a council of our continuous support and collaboration as you continue through this journey. Once again, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Executive Director of the National Youth Council. Thank you for all the support that your council has been rendering to us, especially
new representatives, and the formalization of the Youth Sounding Board is to see our future being built brick by passionate brick. We gather at a moment of extraordinary demographic significance. The recent preliminary census report confirms a truth we must embrace with urgency. 77% of the Gambia's population is under the age of 35 years. This is not just a statistic. It is the pulse of a nation. It is the energy that drives our homes, our communities, and our economy. This overwhelming youth majority is not a challenge to be managed. It is the greatest reservoir of talent, innovation, and strength that the Gambia possesses. UNFPA is here today because our mandate is inseparable from your potential. Our mission, which is to deliver a world where every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and every young person's potential is fulfilled, is the foundation of our partnership with you. This vision is anchored in our global and national commitments. The UNFPA Strategic Plan 2026-2029 is our global roadmap centered on 4 non-negotiable outcomes. We are committed to accelerating progress on ending preventable maternal deaths, ending gender-based violence and harmful practices, meeting the unmet need for family planning, and critically adapting to demographic change through rights-based policies. These are the pillars of a just and equitable future for every young Gambian, woman, and man. Our 9th country program, 2024-2028, designed for the Gambia, is our contract with you. It is focused entirely on strengthening your agency, leadership, and human capital. This means scaling up comprehensive health education so that you have the knowledge for bodily autonomy. It means supporting the skills and digital opportunities you need to thrive, and it means ensuring that at least 2,500 young people are actively participating in national decision-making platforms by 2028. We are immensely proud to be a key partner in the creation of the Youth, Peace and Security National Action Plan 2025 to 2030. This plan institutionalizes the principles of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250, recognizing young Gambians not as victims or perpetrators, but as essential architects of peace. Our commitment to partnership is through the 5 pillars of the YPS: participation, protection, prevention, partnership, and disengagement and reintegration. UNFPA will continue to work tirelessly with the government, civil society, and the National Youth Council to ensure this plan is fully funded and implemented. When we invest in youth leadership, skills, and safe spaces, we are investing directly in the stability and resilience of this nation. The dedication of young people to the democratic process was emphatically demonstrated through the recent elections for the 10th National Youth Parliament. An inspiring 23,110 young people across the country registered to vote for their youth representatives, a figure that powerfully speaks to the seriousness
in decision-making, transparency, and accountability captures precisely what this moment demands: that young people's voices influence decisions and actions that shape the nation's future. The commitments you make here are part of the larger global and national vision. The Pact for the Future calls for institutions that uphold intergenerational equity, participation, and accountability, values that lie at the heart of democratic renewal. The UNDP Strategic Plan for 2026 to 2029 translates these principles into action, focusing on governance, resilience, equality, and climate justice as the foundations for a more sustainable and inclusive world. It also reaffirms our collective responsibility to break barriers to participation, including those rooted in gender inequality, and to ensure that young women have equal voice and influence in shaping policies and decisions that affect their lives. Over the years, UNDP has remained a steadfast partner to the National Youth Parliament, providing technical and financial support to facilitate its annual sittings as part of our broader commitment to democratic governance, peace building, and youth empowerment. Working closely with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Youth Council, the Ministry of Higher Education, the University of the Gambia, the University of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology, and the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources, as well as other partners, we continue to invest in strengthening youth leadership, advancing gender equality, and deepening civic participation within our governance and peace building, inclusive growth, and environment and resilience support portfolios and programs. The Youth Parliament stands as an integral part of the Gambia's democratic fabric, a bridge between youth aspirations and institutional reform, and a testament to our shared conviction that young people are essential to building an inclusive, accountable, and equitable society, representing 77% of the population, with 40.8% below the age of 15. This Parliament's work speaks directly and aligns to the Gambia's recovery-focused National Development Plan, which lays out a pathway for inclusive growth, accountable governance, and social protection. When young parliamentarians advance proposals on transparency, jobs, education, skills development, and inclusion, you strengthen these pillars. Notice I said education and skills development, because we do recognize that there are areas in which we can strengthen skills to not only be ready for the job market, but also to create jobs for the youth. Your deliberations also drive progress on the Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2063, which remain our shared framework for eradicating poverty, advancing equality, and promoting peaceful, just, and strong institutions. Evidence must continue to inform your work. The 2024 Conflict and Development Analysis and the National Action Plan for Youth, Peace, and Security remind us that exclusion, unemployment, and weak governance remain key drivers of fragility and economic vulnerabilities. By prioritizing policies that expand opportunities, strengthen civic participation, and make institutions more transparent and inclusive, particularly for young women and marginalized groups, the Youth Parliament becomes not only a voice of advocacy, but an instrument of prevention and social transformation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, youth engagement must move beyond rhetoric. The Parliament should continue to be a space where leadership is diverse, inclusive, and accountable to the public it represents. It should drive action that translates ideals into measurable progress that can be seen in the daily lives of young people across the country, from villages to urban communities, just as here in Banjul. We know we're going through difficult times for financing for development. With 5 years left to 2030, we are at a crossroads for financing for development, investments at scale, and transformation to make a meaningful impact on people's lives, to leave no one behind, starting with the furthest. There's no lack of global capital, but it's misaligned and inaccessible. The fourth Financing for Development Conference in Seville was a pivotal opportunity to bridge the 4.3 trillion SDG financing gap by aligning it with global capital, which is roughly 450 plus trillion available for development needs. What does this mean for the Gambia? How are limited public resources being utilized to unlock other opportunities for de-risking and financing the IRUA program through private-public partnerships, creating jobs and opportunities for entrepreneurship in the Gambia? There are tough times ahead, but your conviction, your energy, your thirst for knowledge, and commitment to thrive with integrity is a mighty force to catapult the Gambia to greater heights in its development journey. To the outgoing members of Parliament, we extend deep appreciation for your service and the standards that you have set. To the newly elected members, you inherit an incredible platform and a proud legacy of influence. The Youth Parliament has shaped national discourse, informed legislation, and strengthened public accountability, but more certainly needs to be done. This legacy is not a burden, it is an invitation to reach higher and act bolder for this great nation. As I stated, we are at a crossroads. I urge you to lead with clarity, conviction, and courage. Anchor your deliberations in evidence, connect your proposals to national priorities, and remain steadfast in advancing equality and inclusion. And remember, young people, women and men alike, are not a problem to be solved. You are leaders shaping the future of this great nation. UNDP stands as a steadfast partner, convener, and supporter. We are not donors. We trust our partners at KORA to provide us with core resources that can help the national development agendas in the countries we serve. We commit to working with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Youth Parliament, the National Youth Council, and all partners to advance a youth agenda that is inclusive and gender responsive. Together with government, civil society, and the communities you serve, we will ensure that the resolutions emerging from this Parliament translate into meaningful, lasting impact for all the young people of the Gambia. Plus, let's also remember the elders of the Gambia that require your support. Congratulations on the inauguration of the 10th National Youth Parliament. May your debates be vigorous, your actions bold, and your impact enduring and full of integrity. We need this more than ever with the limited resources we have for development. I thank you, Abaraka and Jerry Jeff.
Of the European Union working with young people worldwide. At the European Union, we believe that the young people are key drivers of positive change, are essential partners of advanced, sustainable, and inclusive development. In the world today, there are over 1.8 billion young people, 90% of whom they live in developing countries. In Africa alone, 3/4 of the population is below 35, and figures have been given for the Gambia with over 60% is at most 25 years old. I think that these democratic trends presents both the opportunities and challenges. On one hand, the youth are the drive of economic growth and innovation. On the other one, it's true that it's a significant investment, it demands a significant investment in education, healthcare, and employment. Nearly all policy decisions that they're taking in any country impact youth. However, despite it is clear for all of us that engaging with young people is the way forward, most part of time, you are often excluded from political, economic, and social decision-making processes on issues that affect your present and your future. And I think it's been said by the Deputy Speaker that we are not here only to look for the future of the young people, but for the present. And I really thank you very much for this statement, because I think this is very, very important. Young people are not taken into account all the time, but girls, young women, and young people with disabilities, they're even particularly disadvantaged. And I think here on speakers before have advocated very much by including those voices. And I just want to underline it again. The EU believes that engaging with young people is fundamental to build a stronger, more legitimate, inclusive, peaceful, and democratic societies, where human rights and the rule of law are respected. To this end, we have developed a youth action plan for the period 2022-2027. It's the first ever European Union policy framework for a strategic partnership with young people worldwide. And this action has been defined, drawn, and discussed with over 220 stakeholders across the globe, of course, mostly young people organizations. And this action plan is guided by 3 pillars of action. It's a partnership to engage, to increase young people's voices in policy and decision making. It's a partnership to empower, to fighting inequalities and providing young people with the skills and tools you need to thrive. And it's a partnership to connect, to fostering opportunities for young people to network and exchange with their peers worldwide. One of the key activities implementing this youth action plan is the creation of consultative mechanisms in all the different countries that we work. And I'm very pleased that today's ceremony will be as well the occasion to sign the terms of reference for the European Union Gambia Youth Advisory Committee. We do it with you, with the National Youth Parliament, and we believe that this agreement is a milestone of the EU engagement with the youth in the Gambia. The Youth Advisory Committee is a consultative body, but its aim is to actually increase the changes with young people to win on the European Union level from your views. It's having your perspective on things embedded in our future policies and projects and strategies in the Gambia. Through the establishment of the Young Advisory Committee, we acknowledge the role of the National Youth Parliament as a non-partisan, democratically elected, youth-led organization established to advocate for youth development and empowerment. You connect young people with policymakers, with government entities, with the private sector, with civil society organizations, with the media, and with any other relevant stakeholder to discuss and find solutions to issues that affect you directly. Recognizing the importance of the National Youth Parliament, the EU has supported the organization of the 2025 elections and has well supported the 2025 induction training and parliamentary sitting. We are supporting initiatives at worldwide, as I said, and within this very generic program worldwide, we have in July 2025 granted support to the Gambian Scout Association after a worldwide call for proposals do exist. Gambia participates and Gambia can actually have proposals even in programs which are worldwide. If we zoom a little bit on the EU-Gambia cooperation, here, it's obvious that taking into account the National Development Plan and taking into account the demographics of the country, youth and women are the key stakeholders for us. They are the key targeted populations, and we are working very much to improve their capabilities and the stakes in the ruling and the future of the Gambia. At the beginning of this year, we launched the European Union Youth Empowerment Program for tourism and creative industries. This is basically tackling youth unemployment and boosting competitiveness and sustainability in the tourism and creative industry. In August 2025, we have approved a project that is Boost Your Talent, which again focuses on strengthening the Gambian human capital and entrepreneurial ecosystem with short-term mobility schemes for young people. In September 2025, we just signed an agro-food system project that is as well focusing on enhancing the production of the horticultural sector, focusing again in youth and women. And we are about to sign before the end of the year a project that is to improve the secondary education and the transition towards university. Of course, as well, focusing very much in youth and in women. If we calculate all of that is over more or less 60 million euros that we believe are very well spent because our target is going to be the youth of the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, as we sign today the terms of reference for the Youth Advisory Committee, I would like to reaffirm the need to harness the potential of youth. In order to reach these goals, we need to listen to your voices, and by doing so, we can unlock a demographic dividend that will propel the nation forward. But The other day, I think it was a week ago, the Independent Election Commission launched the election calendar in the country, and I think that you are sitting now here is a very timely situation. It is the moment to advocate for more political participation of the youth. And not only with the Youth National Parliament, but as well in the National Assembly. The representative of the UNFPA has asked you to advocate for lots of things. And I think I'm going to ask you as well to push your voice, to actually be represented in the National Assembly. Ask the political parties to open up places for young people, to include you in their running list, support you, and train you to not only run, but run and win. And I think training youth to discuss the present and the future of the country is a very important thing. Training you to be an active part of your own future, it is essential for the country. I wish you all the best in your tenure, and I think I just need to end by congratulating you for your election, wishing you an incredible work ahead, and trying to all together shape the future of the Gambia in a more brighter way. Thank you very much.
To be elected as Deputy Speaker. And the Honorable Member, okay, any Honorable, yes, okay, Honorable Member for Lower Badibu. Thank you, Honorable Member. Any seconder? Yes, Honorable Member for Banjul South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Honorable Papa Nakaba, Member for Banjul South, rise to second nomination of Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal as Deputy Speaker of the 10th National Youth Parliament.
Thank you so much, Honorable. The member for Sabak Sanjal has been nominated and seconded. So, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal, do you accept the nomination?
I, Honorable Bukari Gay, Member for Sabak Sanjal, do hereby accept the nomination to be the Deputy Speaker of the 10th Youth Parliament of the Gambia.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Do we have any other nomination? Yes, Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala. Yes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I, Honorable Lamin Koli, the National Youth Parliamentarian of Fonyi Kansala, hereby nominate the National Youth Parliamentarian for Busumbala constituency. Mr. Sega, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Can we have a seconder? Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol. Fonyi Bondali, sorry.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. I, Honorable Ibrahim Ajalo for Fonyi Bondali constituency, here by Surrender Nation.
Thank you so much, Honorable. So, Honorable Member for Busumbala constituency has been nominated. Do you accept the nomination, Honorable?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Honorable Member for Busumbala constituency, Ibrahim Hisseka, do hereby accept the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Is there any further nomination? Yes. Honorable Member for Bundunga Kunda.
I, Honorable Umidawa, member for Bununka Kunda, hereby nominate Abubakar Sise as the Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament.
Thank you, Honorable. Any seconder? Yes, Honorable Member for Talinde.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Honorable Mustafa Msise, member for Talinde, do hereby second the nomination.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Member for Joswan constituency, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, I accept the nomination to be elected as the Deputy Speaker of the 10th Youth Parliament.
Thank you, Honorable. Any further nomination? If there is no further nomination for the position, the we call on the IEC to conduct election for the Deputy Speaker position. Thank you. Proceed with the administration of oath of the Honorable Deputy Speaker as per the order paper.
Administration of oath for the Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament.
It is not here. It is not, didn't write it here. Yes. Okay. You can please, can they sit down? Yes, I can ask them to sit down. Yes. You may please have your seat. No, you will sit down.
It's all right. It's all right. Repeat after me. I, Honorable Member, having been elected as member of the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia, do hereby swear that I shall be faithful and bear true allegiance to the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia, that I shall execute the function of members of the National Youth Parliament without fear, favor, affection, or ill will, according to the Constitution of the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia. So help me God.
Thank you so much.
You may take your seat. Honorable Deputy Speaker of the 10th Youth Parliament of the Gambia, honorable members of the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia, Your Excellencies, honorable members of the National Assembly, the EU Ambassador to the Gambia, members of the diplomatic and development partners, Executive Director of the National Youth Council, the clerk and staff of the National Youth Parliament, former members of the National Youth Parliament, distinguished guests, members of press, and fellow young people of the Gambia. May I remind you all that this position is not a privilege, but a call to serve faithfully, fairly, and with integrity. The election that brought us here represents a milestone for youth democracy in the Gambia. Over 23,000 young people registered to vote, 149 contested, and 53 were elected by their peers to represent the full diversity of Gambian youth. This parliament stands as the collective voice of our generation. Youth from every corner of this nation, united by a shared commitment to good governance, civic engagement, and national development. As Speaker, I am committed to leading a youth parliament that is disciplined, transparent, and accountable. Our debates must reflect the realities of young Gambians and propose practical solutions to their challenges. This year's session begins at a time when civic space is shrinking, when young people continue to demand accountability, and when trust in leadership remains fragile. We must rise to the moment by conducting ourselves with integrity, by holding ourselves accountable, and by demonstrating that youth leadership can be both responsible and transformative. And we affirm that the National Youth Parliament is a credible platform for engagement, policy dialogue, and democratic learning. To my fellow members of the National 10th Youth Parliament of the Gambia, this is your parliament, and you are the custodians of its credibility. Let us lead with humility, act with purpose, and prove that young Gambians are not the future. We are the present. Together, we will strengthen the foundation of youth leadership, accountability, and national unity. Thank you. Clark, you may proceed.